What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I am going to show you how to absolutely melt bosses and NPCs in Elden Ring with Frost, Hemorrhage, and overall you are going to have the best time playing this build. This is going to be our Feral Assassin build using the Bloodhound Claws. Let's get into it. So how this build is going to work is you are going to get into the fray as fast as humanly possible, and you are going to start slashing away uncontrollably until you get your Frost and Blood Loss build up, and then you're really going to start trucking along with the attack power boosts and all the damage you're going to be doing. And once you start proccing your Talismans after Blood Loss and your Frost has been built up, you are going to have an absolute blast. You're going to kill most NPCs in 1 to 2 hits. You're going to absolutely shred bosses within a few seconds. It is going to be a lot of fun for you guys to play, and I can't wait for you guys to try this out. As stated before, this is going to be surrounding the Bloodhound Claws, and you are going to put a Frost affinity on this weapon to get that Frost buildup at 105. The physical damage of this weapon is going to be 171 plus 101, and our magic damage is actually going to be 136 plus 16, allowing us to get some of that magic damage off with the Frost buildup. This weapon is going to have Blood Loss buildup at 45 innately, but I didn't want to add a Blood affinity to get that to go more because I didn't want to do just a Blood Loss build. I've done a few of those recently, and I feel like I'm a little tired of doing Blood Loss, so this is something fresh that's going to add some Frost buildup to us as well. If you want to wield this weapon, you're going to need Strength 10 and Dexterity 15. This is going to be a level 150 Dexterity build, so we have just enough strength to wield this weapon, and then we are going to be cranking our Dexterity way up just so we can get a lot of damage off with these fast Bloodhound Claws. And just as a side note real quick here, if you want to go ahead and equip a very lightweight dagger and just put a Flame Ash of War on it, this is going to allow you to put flames on your enemy, negating the Frost buildup you just put, so you can continually build up Frost. You just have to back and forth with your weapons to make sure that you're canceling it, then rebuilding it, and then canceling once again. You can snag these weapons. If you go to Volcano Manor, there's going to be a Lesser Bloodhound Knight in the basement in one of the hidden passageways. All you need to do is kill him. He's incredibly easy to kill, and he's going to drop these weapons for you. Considering our build is built around this weapon, we're going to have a lot of Talismans and armor that really pump this weapon up and make it the best it can possibly be. And speaking of the Talismans, let's go right into these 4 Talismans that we have that I feel are going to synergize really well. I do have some alternate Talismans if you don't have these, or if you want to do a little bit more damage, I will list those as well, and I will provide videos if I have them down in the description. The first Talisman we're going to be looking at is going to be our Wing Sword Insignia. Now, this Talisman is going to raise your attack power all the way up to 10% after 3 successive attacks, so this is a really nice one to have, especially when fighting bosses. You typically might not get the attack power boost when you're fighting NPCs because you're going to kill them so fast, but if there's a big group of NPCs, you'll get the attack power boost, and this will allow you to do more damage. And overall, I think it's a really great Talisman for this build because doing more damage means killing bosses faster, which is always a fantastic thing. The Bull Goat Talisman is going to take our number 2 slot. I like this one because it's going to give us poise, and we're not going to get rocked around as much as we normally would. This is going to raise our poise by 33%, kind of a quality of life talisman for this particular build because you are in the fray a lot, and the attack range of the claws is really small, so you have to be really close to your enemies, really close to the bosses, and you are going to get hit with this build, so the Bull Goat's Talisman is the way to go. And if you want to do PvP, this is also a great talisman for you to get you over that 51 cap if that's something you were looking to do. In talisman number 3, we're going to be looking at the Lord of Blood's Exaltation. Whenever Blood Loss is in the vicinity, this is going to spike your attack power by 20%. This is a massive damage boost, and because we have Blood Loss on our weapons, this is going to happen fairly often, so having the Lord of Blood's Exaltation lined up here in talisman slot number 3 is a really good idea. Moving on to our final talisman, I have the Viridian Amber Medallion. What I'm going to suggest here is that you put some sort of stamina talisman here. Claws or daggers, if you've seen some of my other builds that I use daggers in, you absolutely chew up and eat stamina like it is your job. So having the Viridian Amber Medallion is going to allow me to get more stamina, thus allowing me to attack for longer. The Viridian Amber Medallion is going to allow you to get a 13% boost to your maximum stamina, so it is not a small number, and it can actually help out a lot. If you want to replace this with the Green Turtle Talisman, and instead of having more stamina, you want stamina faster, that is also a viable option. Moving back into the beginning of the talismans, talking about the Wing Sword Insignia, I understand if you want to do more damage, put something like the Milson's Prosthesis or the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia here, and if you want to really min-max, I would take away the Bull Goat Talisman and put Milson's Prosthesis and the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia on top of the Lord of Blood's Exaltation. So I'm going to tell you where every single one of these talismans can be found, but before I do that, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching the video up until this point. If you have not subscribed to the video yet, feel free to subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can know when I'm making more videos. I absolutely love the journey we're on so far. We're We're almost at 10K subscribers in 7 months, and you guys have been a massive, massive part of that, so I just want to say thank you. And now let's get into where these talismans are located. The winged sword insignia is going to be in the very first dungeon within Liurnia of the Lakes in Stillwater Cave, and you have to kill the Clean Rot Knight at the end of that dungeon for him to drop this talisman. The Bull Goat's talisman is going to be in Dragonbarrow Cave on the east side of Caelid. All you need to do is dodge a rune bear in there, and then you will be able to sneak in, grab this talisman without killing anything at all, and it's a fantastic talisman to get. The Lord of Blood's exaltation is going to be located in the Lindell Catacombs after you defeat that boss at the very end of that dungeon. He is very difficult because he does nothing but blood loss damage and can absolutely shred you super quickly, so be careful with that, but if you can get him down, you're going to get this talisman, and it is absolutely fantastic. And finally, the Viridian Amber Medallion +1 is going to be located in Altus Plateau near the Outer Wall Battleground, and once you hear Margit whisper to you, he's going to transform out of nowhere, fight him, defeat him, and he will drop this talisman for you. Moving on to our Flask of Wondrous Physic, we are going to be pumping nothing but an incredible amount of damage into ourselves once we drink our flask. We're going to be using the Thorny Crack tier, which is going to temporarily boost your successive attack power, but it's going to boost it by 20% as soon as you hit 3 attacks, and you're going to start trucking through enemies. The other tier we're going to be using is the Magic Shrouding Crack tier. This is going to amplify the magic damage on our claws, giving us a 20% attack power boost to our magic attacks. You can find the Thorny Crack tier if you're fighting the Putrid Avatar up in the Consecrated Snowfields, and then you can also find the Magic Shrouding Crack tier in the northeast part of Liurnia of the Lakes, east of the Mausoleum Compound Site of Grace. And lastly, for our armor, we are going to be rocking the White Mask, the Scaled Armor, the Vagabond Knight Gauntlets, and the Scaled Greaves. I really like how all this armor came together. It is very hard to match anything with the White Mask, but for this build, the White Mask is necessary because, as many of you may know, if you get blood loss with the White Mask, it's going to spike your attack power by 10%. This is going to stack with our Winged Sword Insignia, it's going to stack with Lord of Blood's Exaltation, and it's going to stack with our Flask, and we're just going to be trucking damage like crazy. If you want to get this mask, it's going to be in Mohg's Palace. Once you defeat 3 different assassins, the third one will drop this set for you, and the White Mask will be yours. The Scaled Armor and the Scaled Greaves are going to be dropped by, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd invasion from Volcano Manor when you're going to hunt the Tarnished. And if you're looking for the Vagabond Knight Gauntlets, they're going to be sold by the Nomadic Merchant in the mountaintops of the Giants right here on the map. All this armor and the Bull Goat's Talisman is going to wrap you up in 84 poise, making you really hard to stagger, and you're also going to have no problem getting off all of these attacks. And the very last thing I'm going to show you guys here in the video is my stats for this build. As I said before, it's a 150 dexterity and arcane build. We have about 60 to 65 dexterity, and arcane is going to cap right there at 40. Also, you're going to want to add as much endurance as it takes for you to get this armor set or whichever armor set that you're interested in wearing, and then cap everything out at vigor because you don't really need any other stats for this build. And guys, that is it for the Feral Assassin build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down in the comments, anything you guys would change. As always, if you haven't hit that sub button yet, feel free to hit the sub button and the bell notification so you guys can know when I'm making more videos. I do make videos on Mondays and Fridays with shorts in between, so make sure to check out some of my content. I just posted a Vampiric Crusader build as well as a Blood Flame build that I think you guys are going to want to check out. So with that being said, thank you guys so much. I appreciate the heck out of all of you, and until next time, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.